Hey everybody, I'm Tim Ward and welcome back to Garden Sense. We had another real busy week last week as dozens and dozens of emails came from you, the customers, asking for advice on a wide range of topics. Now, some of you in the warmer climates are already asking questions about what to do this summer, while the rest of you who may still be dealing with some cooler temps, especially in the evening, are trying to play catch up a little bit in terms of your spring lawn and garden maintenance. So, we picked 7 questions that we wanted to address here today, so why don't we jump right in? The first question is from Kevin. Hey Tim, my yard is covered with light green clumps of weeds/grass. A closer look indicates at least 2 different types of weeds. The one on the right appears to be POA. What is the weed on the left? So based on the picture you sent in, I actually think it's another type of POA because there's actually 2. We usually, when we say POA, we usually think of POA annua, POA annua, as some people call it, and that's your traditional annual bluegrass. However, there's another type of POA that's equally as common that often gets lumped in with it, and it's called POA trivialis. And again, it looks very similar, but it tends to grow a little bit quicker and kind of has that lighter green color. So I actually think that's what you're dealing with here. Now, the product that I'd recommend to kill this would actually be Bonide's Crabgrass Plus. Now, it just lists POA, it doesn't specifically say POA trivialis, but again, because they're in the same family, it should actually kill it. Now, the other thing to remember to help eradicate this in the future is to try and get down dimension, because again, it is a type of POA, so using dimension in the fall, assuming you're not overseeding, should also help kind of keep it at bay when we start heading into spring next year. Question number 2 is from Judith. Hey Tim, almost overnight, about 1/3 of a rose bush's leaves are curling inward. The underside shows a white dust. I cannot see well enough to tell if it's a powder or tiny insects. Diagnosis and treatment, please? So without a picture, it's really tough to tell. My gut says that it's probably insects based on how quickly 1/3 of the bush has turned. So because we don't know for sure, there are two products that I would recommend. The first is Bio Advanced Rose and Flower Insect Killer. We sell it in a spray bottle, and so if it is insects, you can absolutely start using this directly on the plant. The other product, in case it is a disease, because again, I don't have a picture, so it's tough to kind of give you the exact answer you're looking for, but would be Bio Advanced 3-in-1. And this is gonna help with insects, it's gonna help with disease, and it's gonna help with mite control. So again, if you're not sure, if you're just not able to tell and there's no one else who can kind of take a look at it and see if they're tiny, tiny white bugs, or if it is in fact a disease, I would definitely go with the Bio Advanced 3-in-1. Again, if it is an insect, it's gonna work, and if it's not, it's gonna help with the disease. So again, it's a great product. You can find it right over on rosensonline.com. But I'll be honest with you, it's not a bad idea to have that Bio Advanced Rose and Flower Insect Killer just on hand, because it's a real handy dandy kind of squeeze bottle that you can just carry around, and if you see some insects landing on it, you can go ahead and spray down the bush to kill them, but it also provides up to 30 days of protection. The next question is from Lewis. Hey Tim, soil analysis suggests applying urea at 0.5 pounds per 100 square feet. Can I skip this if I apply Garden Trust, which contains urea? That's a great question, and the answer is yes. You can absolutely bypass the urea and just put down Garden Trust. So Garden Trust has urea in it, along with a couple of other types of nitrogen. Urea tends to cause grass and plants and things like that to green up real quickly, because it's kind of that quick hitting, fast absorbing nitrogen. Garden Trust though also has a lot of slow release nitrogen, which means that it's gonna last a lot longer. So I would not put down urea if you have Garden Trust on hand. I would absolutely put it down right now, and you should see an impact right away, but you're definitely gonna see an impact in terms of the soil because of all the micronutrients that Garden Trust has. So get that down now. In 30, 60 days, take another soil sample, test it out, and I bet you'll be surprised at the results. Question number 4 is from Ralph. Hi Tim, what do you recommend to control weeds in a flower garden? So we get this question a lot, and there are actually two products that I would recommend to kill existing weeds. The first is Grass Getter, which is not a new product, but it's new to us. We just started carrying it this year. It's a really great product because you can safely apply it to your garden to kill a variety of broadleaf weeds and grassy weeds, but it's gonna be safe for all those desirable plants. So it's probably the best option. Now, the problem is the list of weeds and grasses that it kills isn't this massive list like a Bonide Weed Beater Ultra that, you know, kills 250 weeds or something like that. So relative to something like that, it's gonna have a small list of what it will kill and what it will prevent. Another product that you might want to consider is a dead weed brew. Again, this is a Captain Jack's, it's by Bonide. What makes this product really unique is it actually, the way we sell it, it actually comes in a concentrate form, and it has its own little built-in handle and control trigger, which means you can walk through your garden and just spray specific weeds, specific clumps of grass that you might find. However, it can still kill your desirable plants, so you want to be careful with it because it's technically, even though it's designed for organic use, it's technically a non-selective herbicide. So again, just be careful where you're spraying it. Another option, and it's not going to do anything to kill the weeds that you have now, and I know that Joss Rosen used to talk about this all the time, is Gallery. You can actually put Gallery down in a garden bed, and it basically is going to create that same chemical barrier to prevent grassy weeds and broadleaf weeds from coming up through the soil surface in your garden, just like it does in your lawn. Now, I know what you're saying. It doesn't say that it's safe to use on the bag. I understand that. That's more of a pro-trust thing in terms of it's simply not registered as a garden weed preventer, but it can absolutely be used as that. And as you guys know, Joss Rosen has been recommending using it as well as Dimension in gardens for years. So I would go ahead and I would pick up a bag of Gallery, and whether you kill the weeds or whether you pull them out, you can absolutely put down Gallery to, again, try and create that chemical barrier in your garden to prevent some of this stuff from popping up in the future. The next question is from Tony. Hey Tim, I just found out that my lawn has a lot of creeping Charlie. Not sure how it got there, but when I mowed the first time I didn't notice it, nor when I applied Turf Trust. Do you have a suggestion on how to get rid of it? I did apply Gallery the same time I put on Turf Trust about 2 weeks ago. Creeping Charlie is a tough weed, and it is a fast spreading weed. I would actually recommend that you just use Bonide's Weed Beater Ultra. I have dealt with Creeping Charlie for years in my lawn. It keeps coming back really because of the proximity to the woods that my yard is. I'm surrounded by heavily wooded, very dense wooded area. So I love Bonide's Weed Beater Ultra. It works really, really well. You may have to put down 2 applications. So again, just read the label carefully in terms of how quickly you can reapply, but it'll absolutely take care of your Creeping Charlie. This question is from Peter. Hey Tim, I just got my shipment from you and these things popped up in my lower lawn and flower beds. I usually get them in the fall. How do I get rid of them without killing grass or flowers? So based on the leaf structure and the coloration on the leaves, it looks like a trout lily. Now, trout lilies are very beautiful plants, but unfortunately, they often pop up in undesirable places like gardens, like grass. Unfortunately, it's not considered a weed, so to speak, so you're not going to be able to find a selective herbicide to kill it. So really, you've got 2 options. You can either use a non-selective herbicide to kill it, which, as you mentioned, you don't really want to do because there are other flowers in the area, you have grass in the area, and a non-selective herbicide will kill those if any of the chemical were to get on that grass or the leaves of the plant, etc. The second thing you can do is just dig it out. This is what I've actually chosen to do because I do get this from time to time that pops up. I've got some actually that I just noticed about 2 weeks ago in my garden, the front garden in front of my house. Fortunately, I was able to dig it out before it spread because it can spread pretty quickly. So you need either a non-selective and you need to be real careful in terms of how you apply it to kill it, or you just need to dig them out. The last question is from Jody. Hey Tim, I have a lot of bare spots that need to be seeded, but the birds eat the grass seed. Any suggestions? Thanks for the question, Jody. If you're having birds eat your grass seed, that simply means that the grass seed isn't covered well enough. Now, I know you didn't explain your process to me, but I've got to make some assumptions. If you're just casting the seed out and hoping that that's kind of the overseeding process that you're using, or you're just putting it on the bare area and not covering it, it's just ripe for the picking when it comes to birds and small animals. Squirrels might eat it, chipmunks, things like that. Assuming you're not doing that though, and you're trying to mix it in with the soil, it just needs to be mixed in a little bit better. But if it were me, what I would do is follow your existing process. Again, I'm making the assumption that you're adding some dirt, or you're digging up the dirt and you're putting the grass seed into it. Cover it with Easy Straw. Easy Straw is a fantastic product. I use it in my own lawn and it works really, really great whether you're overseeding or just seeding some bare spots like you've explained. First of all, it's 99% weed-free, so when you use it, you're not going to be putting down any additional weeds into your lawn, which can sometimes happen if you just get traditional straw from a local garden center or something like that. The other thing that makes it real great is it holds moisture incredibly well. So when you put the straw down and you water it really well, it's actually going to hold that moisture and help protect the seed. The third thing, and this is to me the greatest differentiator between it and regular straw, is that there's a tact into it. So when you get it wet, that straw actually sticks together and creates a nice little thick barrier that I don't believe any birds or animals are really gonna wanna just waste their time trying to dig up. Could a squirrel get in there? Absolutely. Could a chipmunk? Sure. But if birds don't physically see the seed, they're probably not gonna waste their time trying to peck through that straw to get to it. So that would be my advice. Easy Straw is available in large bales. You can find them right over at Rosen's online. One quick final thought here. If you haven't already done so, make sure you pick up some Garden Trust, Plant Trust, and Kickstart to use in your gardens and in your landscaping this spring. As you guys know, Garden Trust is the preferred choice for vegetable gardens, bulbs, your flower beds, but as well as any flowering bushes or flowering trees that you may have, Garden Trust is the way to go. Plant Trust is really great for your evergreens, your arborvitaes. It also works really well on any other deciduous trees, although to be quite honest with you, a lot of deciduous trees you wanna fertilize in the fall. And the last product obviously is Kickstart. Kickstart works so well at strengthening the root system of not just your lawn, but all of the other plants that I just mentioned. It's really great to put Kickstart down in between Turf Trust fertilizer feedings. So if you've got one down and you're not doing your second fertilization on your lawn until June, then you absolutely want to get down an application or two of Kickstart. But make sure that anytime you're watering your garden, you're watering down your favorite bush, some of your ornamental trees, use Kickstart. They're really gonna benefit from it. Folks, thanks so much for spending time with us this week. I hope you guys have a great week. God bless.